Hi there! It is December 16th, which means that we completed Santa's Anonymous deliveries today. Yay! Lots of kids in Edmonton are going to have a great Christmas. But it is the 16th, so that means Chapter 16 of A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. So how about it? Chapter 16, here we go. Before he knew it, Scrooge was in another humble home. He could hear great, hearty, genuine laughter. Scrooge thought that he recognized the voice. It was his nephew, the nephew's wife. Scrooge's niece by marriage was laughing just as hard. He said that Christmas was a humbug, cried Scrooge's nephew. He believed it, too. Shame on him, said Scrooge's pretty young niece. He's a comical old fellow, said Scrooge's nephew. However, his offenses carry their own punishment, and I have nothing to say against him. I'm sure he is very rich, Fred, hinted Scrooge's niece. At least, you always tell me so. What of that, my dear? Said Scrooge's nephew. His wealth is of no use to him. He doesn't do any good with it. I have no patience for him, said Scrooge's niece. Oh, I have, said Scrooge's nephew. I feel sorry for him. I couldn't be angry with him if I tried. Scrooge's nephew's friends were in attendance at their Christmas feast, as were the niece's sisters. It was quite a lovely Christmas celebration. My uncle, by choosing not to accept our invitation, the nephew continued, loses out on spending time in the presence of good company, sharing some good laughs, and being part of a wonderful holiday tradition. I will continue to invite him every year until the day he dies, even though I know that he will be angry every time I do ask. After tea, they played some music, for they were a musical family. Scrooge's niece played well upon the harp. When this strain of music sounded, all the things that Ghost had shown him came flooding back into Scrooge's mind. He softened more and more and thought that if he could have listened to it often, years ago, he might have cultivated the kindness of life for his own happiness with his own hands, without resorting to the sexton's spade that buried Jacob Marley. This was a lively party indeed. Scrooge could not help but get caught up in the merriment of it all. The ghost was greatly pleased to find him in this mood, and looked upon him with such favor that he begged like a boy to be allowed to stay until the guests departed. But this, the spirit said, could not be done. Please allow me a mere 30 minutes more, said Scrooge. Then Scrooge observed the young people of the party play a game. The game was called Yes or No. Scrooge's nephew would think of something, and the rest of the people had to guess what it was he had in mind. The nephew could only answer yes or no to their questions. His answers indicated that he was thinking of a sort of animal, one that was disagreeable and grunted and groaned. With every question he was asked, Scrooge's nephew roared with laughter. At last, Scrooge's niece's sister called out, I know who it is. I have guessed it. What is it? Said Fred, the nephew. It's your Uncle Scrooge, she cried. Scrooge certainly was the answer. Everyone thought it was very clever round, although some thought that when asked if it was a bear, Fred should have answered yes. He has given us plenty of merriment, I am sure, said Fred, and it would be ungrateful not to toast his health. Here is to Uncle Scrooge. Well, Uncle Scrooge, they cried. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the old man wherever he is, said Scrooge's nephew. He wouldn't take it from me, but may he have it, nevertheless. Uncle Scrooge. Uncle Scrooge had imperceptibly become so happy and light of heart that he would have pledged the unconscious company in return and thanked them in an inaudible speech, if the ghost had given him time. But the whole scene passed off in the breath of the last words spoken by his nephew, and he and the spirit were again upon their travels. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Chapter 16 of A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Join us tomorrow for Chapter 17.